everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is certainly possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, we've come again to have a discussion on the things happening in Nigeria, especially as panic has gripped Chief Bola Tinubu. As you know, today, a news coming out from the National Orientation Agency, who released a statement by Paul Odeyin, who was very, very apologetic to what is happening in Nigeria. He's a deputy director of press at the National Orientation Agency, who announced that the nationwide network has successfully identified the sponsors of the planned protest and potential hotspots where this very protest is going to happen. The National Orientation Agency is urging Nigerians planning a nationwide protest over the economic crisis to engage in dialogue rather than resorting to disorder. And this same director stated that the government has identified the masterminds behind the protest and their collaborators abroad, and is taking necessary actions to stop their subversive plans. He added that the intentions of those behind the planned protest are not genuinely about governance or the state of the economy, but are rules to destabilize the country. These elements, he said, aim to cause chaos, including arson, killing, and maiming of innocent citizens to narrow political reason. They are indirectly calling for a dialogue, asking the sponsors for a dialogue. And with me to have all the discussions, I have in the studio Mercy and Okike. And I also have 1 million Nigerians on Zoom who are going to join us on this very discussion today.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us on this show.
Welcome and thank you for joining us.
As you are joining us anywhere, please like, share, and subscribe so that other viewers will know that Obidient Family TV is live. Let's start with this discussion. It's really very, very interesting. Okike, you've heard Tinubu is in a panic mood, that suggests that the youths have kind of rattled him. Just planned protest. The protest has not yet commenced, but now we are seeing different agencies which are coming out to state, oh, they have identified the people who are involved in the protest planning, and they are calling for a national dialogue. What can you say about this? Because this is really getting interesting now.
Well, as much as it's very, very interesting, I do not feel like a dialogue is anyway going to stop the protest. We can have the dialogue and still have the protest. And two things can exist, two of them can exist. We can have the dialogue with them, and at the same time, we can go out and have the protest.
Yeah, but if they have identified the people, as they said, that they have identified the sponsors, I mean, my question is, why not reach out to the people for dialogue? Are you calling a national dialogue for people to start coming to Abuja? If you have identified the people according to Tinubu's spokesman, I mean, it's to reach out to those people who you have identified and then dialogue with them so that they can communicate. And the other question is, I mean, the people who are planning protests, which is the youth of Nigeria, have identified the problems. The pump price of fuel needs to come down. The hardship, what are the plans? What, you know, several things that have been, that is on the table. So if they are calling for dialogue, my expectation is that they should reach out to the people they have identified to have this dialogue and tell us what and what on the demand that should halt the protest, because they also acknowledge on their statement that it's a constitutional right for a protest.
Of course, it's our constitutional right to protest. And them speaking to the sponsors of the protest, as they said, they want to dialogue with the sponsor of the protest. As far as they are speaking about the topics that people want to hear about, if they are speaking about the hike in fuel price, hardship, starvation in the nation, and they are going straight, they are bringing up solutions to this, of course the protest can be halted, but obviously we know how things
talking cannot obviously sort it. Okay, let's get to Mercy quickly before we join our people who are waiting for us virtually.
Well, the truth is that talking cannot actually, you know, solve the problem.
And their talking is always about lies. Everybody knows whenever it comes out. But my point is this. If they say they have identified hotspots where this protest is going to happen, they have also identified the sponsors of this protest, and they are calling for dialogue. My question is, why not reach out to the people you have identified to have this dialogue, and then they can bring what is on the table?
Of course, even without reaching out to the people, the youths have made their demands known. Federal government knows the needs of the Nigerians. So why don't they just go straight to the point by solving and bringing solutions to these needs in order to make the people happy and make the country conducive for everyone to live in it? You know, it's very, very simple. Federal government know the needs. They know how to solve this problem, but then they don't just want to do anything about it.
I see some party members have also joined the call for protest. You know, yesterday I was talking about where is Labour Party in all of this, where is PDP in all of this. We have seen the likes of SDP, that is the Social Democratic Party, coming and calling out for this. And of course, we also have this very video that came out from some northern, whether it's a clerical, but some northern groups who had actually called for this very protest, citing Ndume's actions and all of that. But let's take a listen to that before we go to our people virtually so that they can contribute to this. There is actually a video. I saw this, and of course I admire the courage that he said when he heard about the sack of Ndume. And of course, there is also something breaking that I will bring after this, which has to do with Ndume has come out publicly in a televised nationwide television to reject the offer of a chairman on committee on tourism that is happening today. We are going to bring that. But before we bring that, let's even hear from that very northern group that cited Ndume to call for the protest. Let's take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just woke up to the sack of Senator Ali Ndume as the chief whip of the Senate, and also he has been sacked from the All Progressive Congress. This is what I want to tell the APC and the federal government. Sacking Senator Ali Ndume is not going to sack the intentions of the youth. Sacking Senator Ali Ndume is not going to sack the intentions of the protest. A protest is very imminent, and we are gearing up. Northern Nigeria is gearing up. They say that the truth is like an open heart surgery. So why are you pained because Senator Ali Ndume said the truth to you? Well, we stand with our amiable senator. However you decide to treat this particular case, it's not going to deter us from the protest. We are going to be on the field, and we are going to exercise a civic responsibility. Protesting is a civic responsibility, and nobody can stop us from protesting. The time is now, dear Nigerian youths. If not now, when? If not you, who? The self is a friend of a man that masters himself. But for a man with no self-mastery, the self will be like an enemy at war. What cannot defend itself cannot be defended. Thank you.
So you've heard it, the youth of Nigeria is starting from the north. I like that idea of the north taking the center stage. And of course, we believe that people in the west, in the north, the south, that everybody will follow suit. Let's start this very discussion on Zoom, getting our people who are joining us virtually. Lord K, we also have Mr. Bassi, and we have Reverend Pete. But let's start with Mr. Bassi, who is joining us from Calabar Municipal. Mr. Bassi, you've heard that gentleman from the north who is calling for protests, irrespective of the Ndume angle. That is not our concern for the moment. But I like the idea of, if they think that Ndume has spoken the truth, and because of that, that this protest is going to be halted, is saying clearly the north is going to do the needful. And I also want us to look at this, rather, my question should be, if Chief Bola Tinubu has identified the sponsors of this planned nationwide protest, Why are they calling for dialogue nationally? Who are they referring to when they said they have identified the people who are involved or the leaders of this very protest? Because it's obvious that they are in a panic mood. What are your thoughts and why you think that this very protest is imminent, notwithstanding the jittery mood or whatever antics that they come up with?
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Good evening, studio panelists and the Zoom panelists. Good day, all the listeners across the world. Let me begin by joining all the Obedients, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, and other well-meaning Nigerians to wish our principal a happy birthday. That said, this protest is actually long overdue. But again, called by the government or their agencies to engage in a dialogue, you and I know that this government, their weapon of governing the people has been that of propaganda. And I don't see any genuineness in that call, because if truly they said they have discovered who the people are, why not reach out to them and engage with them in a dialogue? Why do we need to dance about and calling for everybody to sheath their sword, calm down, and not go to the streets? And Nigerians are suffering. Every day that passes by, most Nigerians are drifting into poverty. As a matter of fact, as we speak, we don't have the middle class in this country anymore. What we have is the most wealthiest and the richest Nigerian and the very poor Nigerians. People that used to be in the middle class have drifted into the very poor Nigerians. And most Nigerians are vulnerable. So I would want us to see how we can change the situation in the country. What are they asking for? What the protesters are asking for, they are only asking for a better nation where everybody have the equal opportunity to try, to live, where cost of living is not at the rooftop. If not, the government can have been, sincere enough in their governance processes. This has been for over how many months coming down the road. We've been in this this journey since the inception of this government, and we've not seen any sign. There is no sign to show that they are working on making sure that Nigerians have a moment of respite. But what we are seeing is that every day Nigerians are being inflicted with all manner of notorious policy that is detriment to the well-being of Nigerians. So I would call on the government to show sincerity in the approach. Let them be, for once, show that capacity that goodwill, that they are willing to change the atmosphere. Nobody wants to protest if the situation in the country is okay. No Nigerians take delight in going into joining protests. But because we have been pushed to the wall, Nigerians are suffering. They are barely not able to have one square meal. So this is where we are. Let government do the needful, and by their action, Nigerians will know their level of sincerity. You and I know that this.
Another thing, Mr. Bassi, I want you to also look at that they said that the sponsors of this protest reside abroad, but there are notable high-profile individual youths in Nigeria today that we know that has, been campaigning for this very August protest via their social media handles. One is Omoyele Sowore, who had led several protests in the country and said the revolution will start in August. That is very clear. He said that nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. I'm quoting what he said then. He always target revolution now. He said the revolution is now knocking on our doors. Let everyone rise all at once in August 2024. He said nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. They asked for a revolution and it is here now. He's referring to an official to Bola Tinubu. That Bola Tinubu once asked for a revolution. Even Buhari at one time asked for a revolution. And now Nigerians want a real revolution. And of course, we also know another notable also in Nigeria. Why I'm doing this to you is they were a country that they want to destabilize Nigeria because they are not in Nigeria. But Sowore is in Nigeria. Another person is Charlie Boy. Of course, we know he's a legendary Nigerian artist. That is Charles Oputa. And in his own tweet, he highlighted the rights to peaceful protest, stating that fear is the only obstacle that can hinder the youth's effort. He also called for non-violent demonstration, pointing to Kenya as an example of effective and peaceful protest. So we have Sowore, we have Charlie Boy who are resident here who are pushing. So if they say the only people that they have identified are people who live abroad, that they think their intention is to destabilize Nigeria while they live comfortable abroad, I don't think that is correct. And what are your thoughts on this too?
Said there is no sincerity in the part of government, because here you are facing with the challenge of a protest. You are now trying to look outside Nigeria to call on the people that are outside the country as the people who are the people that are trying to sponsor the protest. That is not true. Like you rightly said, Sowore has been vocal about this protest. Area father Charlie Boy has been very vocal about this protest. Prophet Issa El-Buba has been very vocal about this protest. So how can they say that the people that are behind the protest are outside the country? That's far from the truth. Government should stop this grandstanding and all face the reality. They should engage with these people and see the people that are behind this protest. They have an agenda, what they want to happen. There's something they expect government to do. So why don't you call them? Okay, we have seen your demand. What can we do? We can do this, we can do this, we can do this. This is not achievable. Looking through those demands, as a person, I don't see what is beyond government in achieving in those demands. It's except government, like I said, they are not sincere about this. So any government who is not sincere about it will begin to use propaganda to see how they can garnish this and make it look as if there is a political motive that is behind this protest. I will call on government to, as a matter of urgency, since you have been able to identify the people outside, we have equally told you the people that are behind it in Nigeria. Reach out to them, speak to them, engage them. Let us see how best and how genuine you are, our own approach. That will be my take for now on this. Thank you
much. Let's quickly, our next person who is joining us virtually, that is Reverend Peter. Reverend Peter, as a man of God and as somebody who nurtures souls, I'm very much aware that you know that there is a very serious hunger in the land, and the children of God are suffering in Nigeria. So please tell us, is the clerics and the pastors and reverend, the people of your caliber, who has congregations, are they not supposed to help motivate their congregations so that as the planning for a peaceful protest is on the way, so that people will be properly educated on the need to have a violent-free protest as far as to end the bad governance in Nigeria?
Yes, Kanu, I thank you for having me. And I want to say thank you to all the Obidient families, members, wherever they are. Say, may God bless you. And I want to say to Pio, they will bless him. Happy birthday. And because you have opened the eyes of Nigerians, responsibility come to change the narrative. The Lord will sustain you, and that new Nigeria will come to pass. Yes, when you talk about the ministers of God and the Bible has no tell the people to go out and fight against the government. But the Bible tells us that we must stand on the truth, on part, like me. If it happens to be that the congregation, they come together, or maybe there is protest, I will not stop the people from going. But I cannot ask the people go and protest. No, rather, I will go on the campaign of protest myself. But I will not tell somebody to go and protest, because if anything go wrong, at the end of the day, they are going to turn back to you. Giving each and every one of us that wisdom to do what is right. Because the suffering is not only hitting the pastors. When they talk about the diasporas that were instigating protest, I can say anything, because we have family there. To do something aggressively, and we are now using it for food and for their care. Then why are we not feeling the pains? So if it happens to be that we masterminded it, I don't see anything wrong with that. Whatever you want to do, let you do it. That is that. And when you say you have identified the people, then if you identify somebody that is holding your property, whether lawfully or unlawfully, all you need is find a way to that person, or find where that person is. Since you have identified who he is, find his place, reach out to him, and let you people sort it out. You cannot come out publicly because the subtlety of this government. The government, they are very cunning. They started by going through the emir. When that one does not work, then they come back to say that it was politically minded. That is the opposition is what, and the people are outside the country. Why don't you reach out to them? If I am going to write I'm going to write to Dele, Sowore, and some others that I know. I'm going to write in X. Tell them we need more, not just we need more, not just fuel to 100 euro. No. Look, Akpabio need to leave that seat. He will leave that seat. And we want the Nigeria to know how much the House of Assembly are receiving. And we want the money to be reduced. We want fixed amount for them, which Nigeria will accept or Nigeria will agree to. Because here, even the president of Spain, I know how much he's receiving as salary. I know how much he gets for his allowances, except when he traveled. So why is it Nigeria own is the one that is paid and no one know it? They escorted it so that nobody can know how much it is. They cannot tell you.
Reverend Pete.
So yes.
So Reverend Pete, I just what you meant is that as the planned protest is happening, you are going to march. If you are available by any means in Nigeria, you are going to march the streets with the youths. And if your congregation are also hungry, and if your congregation are also hungry and feel the hardship in the country, your expectation is that they also come and march with you. Is that correct? Come and march with you.
That is it.
Is that correct?
That is it. Because it's not. They said the person that cannot see is the only person you can tell. Okay, we are in the night because it's always dark. But somebody who is deaf that can see, he knows that this is morning, this is afternoon, this is evening, this is night. So you don't need to tell that person because everybody is feeling the pain. So there is no way that you can say that you have to wait for somebody to ask you to come out. Like I told them the other time, what they will say, PO did not say me to come out. I said, what do you want PO to ask you to come out? Are you fighting for PO or you are fighting for your right? Are you fighting for your country? Or are you fighting for the future of your children? Why do you think that the man is the one that will ask you to come out? So that is what it is. And and you discover that these people, they are using a system. I mean, they are using this subtlety in order to distract, deceive people. What kind of arrangement are you going to enter into? What arrangement? There is no arrangement. In fact,
all right, thank you.
I want this protest to be carried out. But the only thing I don't want, let it be that let it not scatter. Let it not scatter all over. Let it be a major street so that nobody can hijack it and turn it to a kind of violated situation where they will say they were destroying something or they were stealing people. No. So a major street, everybody will come in there and take up. They go on, they come back, and everybody see it. If it's the square, they go to the square so that people will see it. And since it's going to be from 1st to 10th, yes. If it happens that it's going to go beyond that, I don't think there is a problem because whatever it takes, because if somebody takes something from you, then you don't just come to the person and say, I beg, give me what you take, or I beg, give me. How would he give it to you? You have to rush him so that he will feel your strength before you can give it up. And that is what I believe.
All right, thank you very much. And that is Compete, who is joining us all the way from Spain. Now we have Tony Oji, who is joining us from Coal City. Now, Tony, my question is on one that has to deal with the minimum wage 70,000 naira that is approved. Now, stories coming out to us is that as at the last discussion, that time that the labor union went to have a discussion with Chief Bola Tinubu, that they said they had a discussion. Now they are coming to tell Nigerians that as at that time the offer of 70,000 naira was there, but they said they did never discuss that. It's coming out today that when it come, they rejected it because Tinubu asked them to choose between a fuel increase on the pump price of fuel or to take 70,000 naira, and they opt to go for the 70,000 naira instead of putting Nigerians into further hardship. Now, Tony, do you really believe that Chief Bola Tinubu is dangling two things for them on the table, either to increase the fuel as it is already now to 1,000 plus on a pump price, or to take 70,000, and that is what they took, the 70,000. You think this is correct, or you think that their ploy right now is to defend the lies of this administration?
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to contribute our opinions or ideas on the issues plaguing Nigeria. And let me use this opportunity to say happiest birthday to Pio, and may God keep you alive and safe until we achieve the new Nigeria. The minimum wage, and I think some people have called it poverty wage or something like that. I think another qualifier, which would be corruption wage, because with this 70,000 naira at the rate of inflation, the regular inflation, not to talk about deflation, what in the world is it going to do to an average family with 4 kids? Some of them go to school. Some of them attend university. You see, if they don't pay a living wage to workers in this country, corruption will never. Because people have to live. They have to make up the difference between what they get as salary.
Chief Tony, Chief Tony, please, due to the time, I want us to look at the issue of the NLC president said today that 70,000 naira best way to save Nigerians from further hardship. That is coming from Joe Ajero, and I want to put him so that you understand the direction of that question. He said at last week's meeting, Tinubu brought a proposal that I will give you guys 250,000 naira minimum wage if you allow me to equally increase the pump price of petroleum products. And we said, no, we need to go and consult. That one happened the other day. Today, we went there to tell him, no, the labor movement can make sacrifices without allowing Nigerians to suffer further on the increase in the pump price of petroleum. He said the pump price of petroleum jumped from 184, as you know, in May of 2023, when Bola Tinubu declared the subsidy is gone, to about 700 at the moment, depending on the part of the country you are in. So Ajero said the organized labor agreed to 60,000 as the new minimum wage for Nigerian workers because wage reviews will be, it's no longer every 5 years, it should be 3 years, as the case might be. But the important point is that Tinubu don't go two things for them. If they want him to do 250,000 naira, or rather, let me rephrase this my question. Don't you think they should have gone for the 250,000 naira and allow him to go ahead to increase that fuel? Let's see how the Nigerians will react to that. What are your thoughts?
I don't even think Tinubu has control over the pump price because he has messed things up from the beginning. So he cannot determine the price of petrol in this country right now. I read somewhere that Dangote was suggesting that the price of oil will continue to go up for reasons he gave. So there's really nothing Tinubu can do about it. And the NLC leadership can tell us whatever they wish to tell us. But me think that it's just a bull story they're telling us. How can the Tinubu give you two options? Increase the fuel price or give 70,000? Who did you consult? Did you consult the rank and file members of labor union? Did you allow them on those two options and then let us know the result? Just maybe talk to a few people and accept the 70 coming to tell us that. You see, people are not being in a way. I would believe he's telling us the truth. The price of fuel is determined by factors the Tinubu cannot control. The pump of fuel from what it was yesterday to what it was today in Enugu. So how can he say the price of fuel will not go up? It's already going up. So if they are accepted to take 70,000 as the new wage, now instead of having the price of fuel go up, the price of fuel is going up, and you have accepted the 70,000 naira. So who is cheating who? So it's just a joke as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Kanu, can I say?
Thank you very much. And Lord Kinsley. Can
I chip in something?
Quickly, please.
Yeah. You see, do not care what amount that the Labour Party reach with the Labour Union reach with the government.
Union.
This coming protest is what we need to tell the government what we desire as Nigerians. One of they were interviewing one economic specialist in Arise TV, and he said that Nigeria is paying 6 trillion for tax. For fuel subsidy, and yet the money never, the amount of fuel, the cost of fuel never come down. And he was saying that they should give him a chance. If they wanted to increase the salary, then they should give him a chance so that he increase it. What are you going to increase again? You have increased it, and yet you are paying the same subsidy, and you refuse to bring down the price. And you want that because you want Nigeria, you grab their neck, and they are about to fail, and you are not satisfied. But you want to see that they died completely. They now local movie. That is not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's have a Hosa's point on this because we are running out of time. Let's take that very quickly. Lord Kinsley, please, what are your thoughts on the issues that we are discussing? Especially concerns the protest and Tinubu's plea for a dialogue. You think he's coming out genuinely?
Yes, good evening, everyone in the studio, on Zoom, and Obidient around the world. Thank you for this opportunity again to speak to you guys. Well, I believe it's now a case of trick me, I trick you. Koniman, fool Koniman. Firstly, I want to look into the case of Tinubu saying he has met with the sponsors of the protest coming up, and he wants to negotiate with them. He wants to have a discussion with them. I mean, that in my view is now a case of, I know I've done wrong. Please give me time to correct things. Give me time to do this. Give me time to do that. All that's nonsense. All that is what? Nonsense. In the sense that if this protest was not coming up, all this palliative that is coming out, fertilizers coming out, giving 100,000 to students, coming out to say, exactly.
Households.
And then at the end of the day, they all want to come out with all the kind of negotiations now. I think that's a tablet too late. A tablet too late. Now, the NLC and TLC, those guys, to my own understanding, they have been compromised. They have gone under the table, taking some dollars, and they say, well, go and deal with Nigerians the way you see it. That is what they have done. Because these are the same people 2 weeks ago were saying 250 or nothing. Last meeting they had, they came out saying, well, nothing was discussed, blah, 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 blah. We are still holding our stand for 250. Now, even tell me, if you want to go for a negotiation, will you drop from 250 to 70? How in human sense, how in anybody's brain can that sound to you? If not that you have been compromised. Tell me, how can that be happening? From 250 to 70, not even from 250 to 180. Tell me, can 70,000 actually buy anything for you as a Nigerian right now? And you say, oh, you are representing the labor union. You are representing the work Nigeria. Which workers are you representing? You are representing yourself. You've gone to Aso Rock. You've gone there to eat whatever you want to eat. They paid you some money into your foreign account, and then now you want to let everything scatter. Because obviously you don't care. You don't care. You have joined the gang. Jero Ajero has joined the gang. Himself and the Obasuyi, they have joined the gang. They've now called them into Aso Rock. They've now seen the wealth there. They don't care about Nigerians anymore. I think Nigerians should not be caring about them anymore. Let them go out to the streets. Go out there and do what they need to do. Demand for what you want. The price of fuel is not coming down, and they want to pay you 70,000. So how are you going to sustain that? The price of foodstuff is not coming down. How do you want to sustain 70,000 to take your family for a whole month? Where are these guys from? Where are they from? Is the water or the food from Aso Rock, does it actually change their brain or change their head? Seriously, I really think a lot need to be negotiated. A lot need to be negotiated. If they want to keep this 70,000 that you're saying, then they have to drop fuel price from whatever it is now to 100 naira or 150 per liter. Then let's start it from there. 100 or 150. per
All
liter.
right.
And then if
Yes,
you want to pay
those are the expectation.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think our time is up, and but there's something I really want to bring to your attention, of course, and I want our viewers to also think of the fact that the Ndume, Senator Ndume, has maintained his stand that he is not changing his words, that he is not going back to his words, that he maintains the fact that everything he stated to BBC Hausa and also what he said in Arise TV and also on Channels Television, that he stands by his words. And he is not taking back any of what has been said. And of course, the new position that was given to him as the chairman, Senate Committee on Tourism, he clearly stated that he is not somebody who is knowledgeable on tourism and therefore cannot take that position. He outrightly rejected that very position and said he is rejecting it because he does not know anything about that, and that he is content on being the ordinary senator on the floor of the Senate. And we encourage all Nigerians to come around this very man at this very hour, because he has spoken the minds of Nigerians and everything. But before we leave, I will want us to listen to this very groundbreaking interview where he actually said all these things happening today, that he is not going back on his words, and he stood with the Nigerian youth. And of course, the protest must happen. Let's take a listen.
Gentlemen of the press, good morning. In reaction to what has happened to me, I reviewed several times, from beginning to the end, the interview I granted. I also shared the interview I granted to friends, elders, leaders in this country to review and get back to me to tell me whether I have said anything that is not true or that is wrong in that interview. And unanimously, the people I shared with, and my conviction too, tells me that I did not do anything wrong. I did not say anything wrong. And therefore, I want to state that I stand by all my statements in the interview I granted. Secondly, the party that recommended to the Senate that I should be removed from being the chief whip of the Senate, I take that as an act of God, because if it is God that gave me that position, it is God that took it through APC, so I bear no grudges about that. After all, I did not contest to be the chief whip. I did not contest to be the vice chairman of Appropriation Committee. I contested to be the one of the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Alhamdulillah, God granted me that victory. And I'm happy with God, what God has given to me. This morning, I shared with you, I am an ardent follower, historical follower of a former famous American President Theodore Roosevelt. I want you to state the quote that I say, but briefly, it says, it is unpatriotic to stand by the president in whatever he does. It is patriotic to speak the truth to not only the president, but anybody for that matter. It is unpatriotic not to speak the truth to power or to anybody, and I still stand by that. In doing so, it is also known that in Hausa, let me put it in Hausa, that Allah yana tare da mai gaskiya, that God is always with the person that speaks the truth. So I know that I'm not wrong, the people are not wrong by speaking the truth and standing by the truth. And I pray that the president, who now I expect the message that I've gotten to him to look at what I have said and take appropriate measures to eliminate the sufferings of the people. People are suffering. People are suffering. People are angry. People are not happy. I'm happy that yesterday the president agreed with NLC to increase the salary to 70,000 naira, which is a good move. But it takes more than that, because realistically, that is like a bag of rice, a money that will maybe buy a bag of rice or cover the cost of bag of rice. So I encourage, or I call on to the president to still open up and listen to the people. The president, I knew, had infiltrated access to people. If you go to Borderland, as I said, you will see, you will know from far whether he's here, there or not. If you go to Lagos House in Abuja, if he's in Abuja, on turning, you will know whether the president is there or not. I think he should think about that and get back to it. Then, on me leaving the party, I'm a founding member of APC. In fact, I can say I was in APC before the national chairman, because I'm a member of the NPDP that formed the coalition that formed the APC. And I did not do that just like that. It is in consultation with my people that I joined APC. We were the 22 senators that joined to form APC. We were called NPDP then. And if you check history and look at the list of the senators, my name is number 21 out of 22. That was because I initially did not want to join APC because of some people that are in the coalition. But I use this word, ordered by Buhari and current President Tinubu to sign to join the APC in Imo Government Lodge. And it was Rochas Okorocha who was hosting us that was sent to summon me to Imo Government Lodge, where Buhari came with the list and asked me to sign. Tinubu was sitting there, I was sitting there, only the three of us were called aside to sign. So I'm not a new member. I didn't join APC just like that. It was in consultation with my people that I joined APC. I take his advice and I will get across to my people. I am here in Maiduguri, as you know, because I'm bereaved, and I did not issue immediate statement because I didn't want to show or overreact on what has happened. Lastly, on me being removed from being chairman of Appropriation Committee, still, the Appropriation Committee was given to me not because I was desperate about it. No, it was because I was begged to accept the position of Chief Whip, knowing fully that I led the campaign for emergence of Apabio as the Senate President. And I was begged to to choose whichever committee I want to be the vice chairman. And I chose appropriation in order to stand for my people and make sure that there is justice in whatever they do. So it's not like I'm desperate. They have been removed. And I learned, because nobody wrote to me, that I've been given chairman of tourism. I want to state here that I beg to decline or to reject the offer for 2 reasons or 3. 1, you must do something that you are not interested. I'm not a tourist. I don't have visa to any country as I'm speaking to you now because I don't travel a lot. I have never been to China, I have never been to India, I have never been to France. In fact, I have never been except America that I schooled and London that I used to go, but even that, I cannot remember going any of these countries for the last 10 years or more. So I'm not interested in accepting the Committee on Tourism for the two reasons I told you. I'm inexperienced in that. I'm not, I don't know anything. I'm not knowledgeable about tourism. So I would, if any, prefer to remain as an ordinary member so that I can learn about tourism and something like that. Besides, I have committees already that I'm contented with, so I want them to note that I'm not interested. And finally, I want to call on the numerous supporters to remain calm, be law-abiding, and also pray for this government. Pray for Nigeria, and pray for the country. We are passing through the most difficult time in the history of this country, especially when it touches on, lack of, because there is the World Food Program. I've said that there's going to be scarcity, there's going to be hunger, and already these indices have shown, even now, Nigeria is ranked as one of the countries that is top on food insecurity, with over 38 million that are facing food insecurity. And that is in addition to the insecurity of Boko Haram, banditry, kidnapping, and separatists in the southeast that we are facing. So Nigerians need to pray. Nigerians need to support the government in whatever way, so that if the president or the government succeeds, we will be better off. If it fails, the poor masses will be the first victim. Thank you for your time. So many people have called upon me to go to court, to take my case to court, because due process have not been followed in meting out punishment to me. As I said before, I depend on God. I believe in Allah. I've already, and He already has taken note of this, so I'm not going to go to court. I leave this issue in the court of Almighty Allah. That is all I can say about people, and please, they should believe in God. It is God that does everything. Even if I go to court, it is God that will decide the outcome of the case. So I don't want to waste my time going to court. I leave the case, my case, in the hands of Almighty Allah. Thank you.